Okay class, this is to help you revise, and you'll have this on record for the future, and you'll get really good at this, and then you think, oh god, if logs comes up, I've got a bank up marks. And it's an important skill in year 2, like I've mentioned in class. So we log both sides. So we get to log 8 2x plus 1 equals log 24. We can use the power law, bring a 2x plus 1 to the front. Log 8 equals log 24. We want to make x the subject, so we divide out by log 8. We get 2x plus 1 equals log 24 divided by log 8. This should get us a method mark here. That's one mark done. Rearrange, get x on its own. That should be your next method mark. So that means we minus 1 and then divide by 2. So we get left with x equals log 24 over log 8. Minus 1 is outside, and that's all bracketed, divided by 2. Put that in your calculator to 3 decimal points. Let's just use a fraction key. Let's do a bracket, another fraction up here, log 24 log 8 minus 1, and this might seem silly because that I'm showing this using the calculator, but you'll be surprised about the amount of time students make a mistake using a calculator. 3 decimal places, 0.264. 0.264. That's called your accuracy mark or answer mark. That should be 3 out of 3. Easy peasy. We need to find the values of y such that y is greater than 3 over 11. Now we've got the division law here. So if we was to divide this first section, they've got the same bases, we're going to actually get log 2 to the 11y minus 3 over 3 minus this. If we just do it one step at a time, but you could do it all in one go, equals 1. But we're minusing this again. Now, remember the power law, it makes it easier to make this equals 1. Now when you're good at logs, you can jump some of these steps. I'm just doing that so you can see this. Right, so we can minus divide by y squared as well, using the division law or subtraction law. So we get, now if we're dividing, if this was just divided by 2, say, that would just be 3 times 2 is 6. So we're dividing by the whole y squared, so that can go here like so, equals 1. Right, so here's, could be up to 2 method marks here. Now we know, what do we know? We know 2 to the power 1 equals this. So we know 2 to the power 1 using our log laws equals this here. Right, so 2 to the power 1 equals this. So we can say now 11y minus 3 divided by 3y squared equals 2. Now let's multiply everything out to make it into a quadratic. So we're going to multiply out by 3y squared. So we get 6y squared equals 11y minus 3. let's set that equal to 0. So 6y squared minus 11y plus 3 equals 0. Lots of method marks here. I'm going to call that a method mark, and you probably get an accuracy mark up to here. Now you need to solve the quadratic. If you can factorise 1, 3, that's probably going to be 3y, 2y, we might want minus 11, so minus 3 minus 1 equals 0. So we know y equals a third and y equals 3 over 2, and that is an accuracy mark. Using the quadratic formula or solving this is a method, so that's your 6 out of 6, quite easily done. Right, let's have a look. It's just more application of logs. Now I'm going to speed up with this one. Look at this. We want to express b in terms of a. Sounds complicated, but let's just use our normal log laws. Oh look, same basis. I like that a lot. We can use the division law here. Straight away we want to simplify that. So what we're going to get is 3b plus 1 over a minus 2 equals minus 1. What do we remember? 3 to the power minus 1 equals this. So 3 to the power minus 1 equals 3b plus 1 over a minus 2. What does 3 to the minus 1 mean? That means 1/3, right? What can we do next? Multiply by a minus 2 both sides, and then multiply by 3. Remember, we have to multiply everything by 3, so that becomes 9b plus 3. Can we rearrange that to get it in b in terms of a? So that means we want b to be the subject. So we're going to get, I'm just going to move this around the other way. So we're going to get 9b equals a minus 5. So b equals a minus 5 over 9. Now part B, solve the equation. To 2 decimal places. This here solution is based entirely on graphical and numerical methods are not acceptable, meaning you have to use laws of log. Part 2. So without unlocking this might be a bit difficult, but if you remember your index laws, if we have 2 to the 5 times 2 to the x, right, that actually equals, because we add the powers, and it's actually 2 to the 2x in this question, we add the powers, so that's actually 2 to the 2x plus 5. That's how we unlock this question. So we just take a coefficient out, so that actually becomes 2 to the power 5 is 32. So 32 let's separate that by a bracket. 2 to the 2x, remember laws of bid and mass first, minus 7 to the 2x equals 0. Now remember when I just said, look, we'll just let y equals 2 to the x, so this actually becomes 32y squared minus 7y equals 0. Let's just take y out. 7 is not a factor of 32, so that's 32y minus 7. So this 32y minus 7 must equal 0, and so y equals 7 over 32. And there's the solution, y equals 0 as well. Of course, and then y can equal 0 here. But let's say give your answer to 2 decimal places. So let's do that. Now I'm going to show you why y does not equal 0 right now, because of log laws. Because remember, y equals 2 to the x, so we cannot log below 1. So we just have to solve 7 over 32 equals 2 to the x. So just have your writing out more clear than mine. So we're going to log both sides. That's log 2, bring the power down, equals log 7 over 32. So x equals log 7 over 32 all over log 2, which equals minus 2.19 to 2 decimal places. Done. By now you should be thinking, oh, if you get a question like this, you should be very happy. 3 significant figures. You can pause the video and give it a go first. And we know we log both sides. You can start off like this. Remember your power law. That should not be an equals there. Equals log 8. So y equals log 8 divided by log 5. The easiest 2 marks you can get in A-level, most probably. So equals 1.29, because it asks for 3 significant figures. There you go. Right, we should be excellent at this now. Use algebra to find the values for x. Big 6 marks. What can we do here? We want x on its own, so we should probably bring the 4 over and bring the log across. So, division law. And you could argue, would you make that a power? Use the division and power law. So I'm going to go straight into this. X to the power half. Because we're subtracting by both sides, by this, plus 4, nice. Now we've got up to here, what do we remember? 2 to the power 4 equals this answer here, so we have 2 to the power 4 equals like so, x to the power of a half. Now you should arguably for a method show one step, so I've looked at the mark scheme and they do give you a mark for this, so they give you a mark for using that power law. Okay, but I think if you can use it here, if you do this here, that's implied anyway, but just to be safe, don't jump too many steps. Anyway, so from here, 2 to the power 4, what is that? 2, 4, 8, 16. We have 16 equals x plus 15. X to the power of a half, which is the square root of x. So how do you want to handle this? Let's multiply out by x to the half. So we're going to get 16x to the half, because we don't like that as a fraction, equals x plus 15. Let's make that like a quadratic, so we've got x minus 16x to the half. That will be plus 15 equals 0. That's going to get us another method mark. I'm sure that it gets you a method mark as well. Now, what would I do from here? You can use your y equals x to the half here if you want. So this becomes y squared minus y plus 15 equals 0. Oh, 16y, that's y. That's got to be 15 and 1, minus 15 and 1. Equals 0, so we have y equals 15, y equals 1. Remember, y equals x to the half. So 15 equals x to the half. So we square both sides, which is like multiplying this power to make that 1. X equals 225. Okay, that's one solution. And if 1 equals x to the half, which is the square root of x, we square both sides, x equals 1. That's the solution. That's accuracy and method as well. So there's your 6 marks somewhere. And if you're good at factorising, you could of course just factorise like this: root x minus 1 root x minus 15 equals 0, and you get to the same solution. Right, that was quite easily done. Now hopefully you can ace these. Okay, so after those 3 exam questions, you should have the skills to do this. Now keep this video and go back to it in the future, see if you can still ace this, because we do forget these skills, but we're doing so well so far. So now pause the video, give those questions a go. Can you get 7 out of 7? If you can, that is impressive. And I'm going to show you the answers on the mark scheme so you can see where you get the marks. But I'll tell you now, 3 to the power x, x to the power when x is 0, that means y equals 1, so that's one intercept. And then you should know the shape of an exponential graph, what it looks like, something like that. Asymptote here doesn't quite touch y equals 0. That's 2 out of 2. Third one, different ways to do it, but I would say let y equals 3 to the power x and solve like normal. You should be able to ace that with your skills now. Wonderful. Great work. Hope this video wasn't too long for you, but you've got it.